Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. We are indeed someplace special in Egypt. On the top deck, the sun deck of a Nile River boat docked in the city of Luxor, where there are a lot of parties going on around us and much commotion. Think of it as a blanket of joy. Dancing, singing, enjoying, having dinner, all those things that you might hear around us. And yet here I am channeling. It doesn't have to be a pure quiet, dear ones, for you to have that which allows you to tune in to some wisdom, to some things perhaps you didn't think about. The subject of the channel is this: is it possible that spiritual systems can change? Let me explain. If you look at some of the doctrines of the planet that are spiritual, there is one, you would say, bastion of truth that all of them will proclaim. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. You don't change God just because something happens on the earth. Therefore, to think that spiritual systems might change is ridiculous. What if I told you that the systems that you call ones of God are dependent on the consciousness of the human being? They're not God systems. They're relationship systems. Your relationship to the Creator as a human being evolving into ascended planet will absolutely change the systems of old energy. What would those systems look like? Now, I've given this kind of channel before. You might say it's a channel that makes you think a little. Perhaps it's an intellectual idea, but it isn't. It's beauty. It's perfect, and it's true. What have you learned and been told about some of the absolute things that never change? For instance, you now understand and have been taught for hundreds and hundreds of years about the chakra system. What if I told you there may be two more? Because when you change dimensionality, you start adding that which is a reality in your body that you never sensed before. What if you had two more? Would that then change the basic 7 or the basic 8 or 9, depending upon you look? What if I told you there's 12? And you'd say, well, this is new. What are they? You will see. They're ones that you must then work with in a new energy that is then part of a new earth. What if I told you that one of the things that is so critical to so many religions, called karma, is no longer needed? Now listen to my logic. It's spiritual logic, and I'm going to tell you about it. Does it make sense that you would take some of the oldest systems on the planet that come to you, that apply to you, that go into that which is your DNA and your ancestry, and then you would carry those very old, worn-out systems into a new era? And the answer is no, it doesn't. Karma pushes the envelope of manifestation and action when you come in from a past life. It's unfinished business that pushes you to do other kinds of things to satisfy the karma. Now that is not going to be needed. You do not need karma. Over 30 years ago, I told all of you to drop your karma. it would not be needed in an ascended consciousness. It would be not needed because you don't need that kind of a thing to push you into places that would solve unfinished business. Because when you arrive next time, dear one, there will be no unfinished business. You arrive with an enhancement that I have talked about. When you come back on this planet, dear ones, you're going to be different. There are so many of you even listening right now, and I'll say it again, say, I'm not coming back. I've done my thing. Thank you very much. I don't have to. What if I told you when you come back, you will wake up after perhaps the age of 6, 7, or 8, starting to remember everything that I'm giving you now? That you never make the same mistakes again. You have intuition that will steer you around the potholes that you stepped in this lifetime. Would it make a difference if you had no redos, if you were young and fresh and understood what you understand now and could move forward and would not have to repeat any of the mistakes? That is attractive because you are coming back. I can't keep you away. The wind of birth will be filled with those eventually on this sun deck coming back because you will remember and acknowledge the fact that you come back with a sense of mastery. In your DNA will not be karma. It won't even contain past life energies that you have to work around or relearn. It will not create a sense of lack of self-worth. How do you like that one? Now, one of the biggest questions light workers ask, well, what about now? What, do I have to wait? And the answer is, that's why I'm giving you this information. All that I'm giving you right now is available now. You are moving into a new kind of energy on this planet. It's a dimensional shift that changes your reality, and in that it changes you. It speaks to your DNA, that 24th set of chromosomes we've talked about over and over from the stars starts to open to such a degree that it starts to wipe out all of the things you came in with, including propensity for ancestral disease. There are those on this planet right now showing that to you, teaching this to you, how you can get rid of that. And they're right on, because now is the time. There are so many things that are opening right now, changing the system of God, you might say. Well, it isn't the system of God. It's your relationship to the Creator that's changing, and that's why the systems are changing. What kind of a human being will you be someday when you come back? And I will tell you, it's a kind of a human being this planet has not seen. That is the promise. That is what's going to happen. Not instantly. I've given my partner and his partner and my partner's partner information about their next lives. I've even given them a time frame. And it's not soon. But dear ones, time goes by and it will happen. And when these things start to occur, you will know that I was correct in this channel. You're starting to see massive change of consciousness already in the young people on this planet that perhaps you don't even know about because you're not in touch with many social media young people's podcasts. Did you know they're talking about what I'm talking about right now? They're happening what you would call under the bonnet, under the hood. And they are happening. This is the beginning. There's a 5-year period starting now of coming out of the shift, and you're going to see remarkable things happen in unexpected ways. And you will say, I wonder if this is all part of coming out of the shift. Remember, Some things must change, and you don't like change, in order for what replaces it to be pure, to be better. Lack of anxiety, lack of fear, a sense of self-worth is all attainable now. Why don't you study a little bit about what I have said, of what you can do to make this happen for yourself that is so easy. There's more. I'll give you more. From Luxor, I am Kryon, in love with all of you. And so it is.